Okay. So the last class we started discussion about the Java program execution as well as the how to write the Java program, the basic first program. So every Java program will start with a class. Okay. There is no separate function like main. We have to add it only and then define the class. Whereas in C++, you are defining some classes and main function you are using outside the class. But in Java, we should have to include all methods or members or whatever it may be. It should be inside the class only. So that is the first point we have to remember. And next, we come up with a discussion about the Java program. How it will be? It will be always starts with one class. That class we call it as public class. Okay, because of that class has to contain a main method. So for that reason, the main method has to access publicly. For that reason, we should have to provide the one as public class. The remaining classes inside the file can be of type private or it may be public. That we can decide it depending upon your requirement. Okay, so that we discussed in the last class about the Java program. So execution of the Java program we discussed. Okay, so we need to first translate that program into the file. Java dot extension is Java. Notepad, either you can use Notepad or any other editor also we can use it. So presently we have a different editors. You can use that editor concept as well as we have a debugging and editing compilation tools also we can use it. Okay. Then we can use the compiler. So Java compiler, we should have to use the Java compiler and provide the input for the Java compiler as the Java program source code program with a file name, and it will give the output as dot classes. Okay, so it will create the n number of files, or it maybe creates only one file based on your content of the file. So the output of that file will be either error or it may be the dot class files. Then we can execute by using the Java interpreter. So use the Java interpreter and give the file name, but I'll not say here file name. So I'll say this is the class name. Okay, so we call it as the class name. So why I'm mentioning this as a class name? Because which method is which class is contains the main method, that specific class name you should have to specify. Okay, for this reason, what I asked in the previous class, I asked one question. So can I save the Java file name as the other than the class name? 50% they mentioned as yes, and the 50% they mentioned as no. Ask yes or no. Okay, so but the output of this is Java compiler output is only the class file. So the file name you can give anything. So this file name you can give anything. It is not necessary that I should have to give only the class name. But why we are giving that as a class name? It is easy to remember, as well as while giving the for the Java interpreter also it is easy. Otherwise, if you given the file name as different here, say for example, instead of welcome.java, if I give w.java, after compilation, the class name which contains is not the w.class, it will be welcome.class. So for that reason, while execution of that program using Java interpreter, so Java followed by, we should have to specify the class name. Okay, and do not specify the dot cls. Okay, class class. Only just you can specify the class name. It will look it into that class and it will be executes. So this point we discussed in the last class, and apart from that, we discussed the more details about the program. So this more detailed program we discussed. So access specifier, class name, identification, and the string, execution, main function, starting point, publicly accessible, and static, calling function without creating object of the class or instant. Then command line arguments, we can pass it as a string argument. Then we have a println method to display the string, and this println method is available in the one class, and that class we have called as a print stream. So print stream class, and the print stream class object is defined in the one class, and that class is called as the system class. The system class is defined as one stream class object, and that stream class is contains a one method called as println. So by using this println, we are printing the message. After printing this message, the cursor will point to the next row. So do you have any doubt till now? Do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, fine. So now we move on to the next, some basic things. Comment lines. So Java supports three types of comment lines, whereas C++ supports two types of comment line. One is called as a single line comment. The other one is called as the multi-line comment. Okay, the single line comment we are using the double slash followed by anything you can write it. It becomes the single line comment, and multiple line comments, a slash star followed by a lines of statements, then end with star backslash. Okay, so this is the multiple line comments, and other comment is available in the Java is called as the document comment. So the document comment will be starts with slash double star followed by documentation information and then double star slash. So this is used for documentation purpose. So why this documentation purpose? You may ask, sir, what is the difference between this one and this one? Can anyone tell me? Can you tell me, anyone, what's the difference between these two, multi-line and document comment? Yes? Anybody? Kunal, Kushi?
No idea.
Purnashree?
Don't know, sir.
Okay. Now see here, the multiple line comments we are using for to comment that particular in code of the block or block of the code. Okay. So what it says that, for example, if I write a one method, I can make it that comment line in such a way that this function does what. Whereas the document comment is also the same thing. It will take the one function that function comment. You can say that this function or this class has been written by whom, author. Okay. Then what is the version of that class and when they modified, all that information we can put it in this document comment. And once you given the source program for the one more tool, that what we call as Java doc. So there's a Java doc tool is there. If you given your source program to the Java doc, it will create a document file for the reference. Automatically it creates the document file using this doc comment. So wherever the doc comment is added, it will take, and within that content, it will be manipulate something, and then it will create one document. And the document gives the information about that particular code. Okay. So it is just like a book. The book will be open, and it will, in that book, it creates a PDF file, and that PDF file we can refer it for the higher next studies. Say, for example, when you go to the industry, you have developed one tool and you have done some classes you define and all. and that class documentation will be creates. And that class document, we can refer it by whenever you required or somebody is required. Say, if you forget that documentation, what I have done this, you can just refer it. Otherwise, if you left the company, someone has to continue that work. At that time also, documentation, we can refer it. So for that reason, using this document tool, directly we can create the documentation. For that reason, there's a third type of comment is available, that is document comment. But by using this, only we can refer it in such a way that we have to open that source program and then we can check this. Whereas this document comment is without opening the source program, just you can refer it, what are the class is there, what does that class, when it is created, all that information we'll get it by using this document comment. So for that reason, when you go to the industry, they will say construct the document comments. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes?
sir, basically this creates just the PDF of the code. That's all, sir.
Not the PDF of that code. It is a tool like what we have done in the previously Java, Java C we have used The same thing we have a one more Java doc tool. For that Java doc tool, you have to give your source program which contains a document information. Then it will process that Java source program and it extract your document comment from that and it will create a one more document. But the document is not contains your fully the code. It will not contain the fully code, only the comment line information it takes, and based on that, it will construct the documentation. Say, for example, when you buy a TV, so what they will give? They will give a user manual, no? So what that user manual contains is that manufacturer, how they inside that TV they will give, or only they will give the outlines.
Details, yeah. How to use
The same thing, it will create the document. Okay, not the source code. Exact. If it is a content source code, everything, if I want to open, then you can open this multiple line statement only. Multiple line comment is sufficient. Okay, so it only gives the documentation about that particular class, methods, everything. That is what, wherever you added the document comment, based on that, it will give information. Okay.
So, sir, how will we able to see the what we have written in document comment? Is there any kind of file which we get after running that code?
Pardon?
So, like, how are we able to check that what is the document comment inside that code?
No, within the code, you should have to write. You are the programmer, no? So when you are the programmer, you should have to write the document. So what the industry people, they'll say, no, whenever you developed any new class or nothing, something changes you have done means you should have to write the document comment for that. Okay, because of the document comment is very easy to process for the further. So by somebody has to look at that and this class does this thing. Then when they change all that information, we can put it in this. It is almost same as the multiple line comments only, but the changes there is a tool, it will extract only the document comments. It will not extract the multiple line comment statements. Okay, so as a student, what happens? I will not go with the documentation. Okay, only I will use a comment like statement. So because I am developing my own code, I can open that code, source code, and I can check it what I have done. But when you go to the industry, at that time, you are not the only one person you are designed that somebody is designing, or you are designing new one, but this new one can be used by the other new persons once you left your organization, or once you move out from that project to another project. So at that time, we need a documentation problem. So this we can create it by using document line. That's the main usage. It's same as multi-line comments. But in this documentation, they will give some syntax. So the syntax is, it should be having the author who has designed this. then date and time when they manipulated, when they created, then the versions they will add it, version 1, version 2, version 3, like that. So it means, so at the presently you design, so next somebody has come and he will modify that based on the some feedback. So then it becomes a new version. All the documentation they will keep it. So for that reason, there is a third type of documentation is available. Okay.
So we have to write a specific code in the command line.
Yeah, for that also we have a command. I'll show it if you want later. Okay. So there is a separate command. Command is for document creation. Okay. But you have to write in the source program only. You have to write the source program only. You have to write this comment. This comment line, whatever document comment line is there, you should have to write it in the source program. But only extraction this comment from your source program can be done by using the again tool, Java doc tool. Okay, I'll show it later. Fine. Any other doubts?
Okay, sir. So sir, it will show it on the command line, that the document comment.
No, it will show, or you can save that as a somewhere. Okay. It's not necessary to show it only on the command line. You can save it as a document.
Bytecode, another
Okay, sir.
file will be created for this.
No. It won't create any bytecode for that. It's a text file, just like it.
Created that only, I'm saying.
Yeah. Text. It's not any bytecode information or something. It won't convert any bytecode. Because this line is not for the execution purpose. It's only for identification of the particular class or method or data member. So that is wherever you are creating a new, then you have to add it. Say for example, I created a new class. What purpose that class has been created? So who has created? I am created. My name has to be comes. Then when I created, if I created today, so today's date I will add it. Okay, then what is the version? First version. I will give version number 1. Fine. Then I will give a comment input. So what is the input for this class? What is the output for that class? Then which are the methods are available, and that method is available is for what purpose? So all that information we can do it in the document comment. Okay, because if you just go through the net, you just type it Java document or Java API document. You'll see it. They won't give any inside the function what it is. Only they will give a information about that particular class, as well as inside the class what are the data member is available and what are the methods are available. And then it will give what it does, that method, what purpose they are using that method. So that information they will give it. I will show it after this. Okay. So this is about the 3 types of comments available in Java, and just you can identify yourself. This is a self-study. Identify the difference between Java and C++. You just go through this and identify the difference between JVM and JRE and JDK. So I already mentioned that JVM is what purpose, JDK is what, then JRE is also there. So just go through the net and identify the differences between JVM, JRE and JDK. Okay. And RD, I given some difference with respect to C and C++ and Java. You can identify yourself a few more differences between the Java and C++. And next, I asked this question, RD. Can we save Java source file by other than the name, okay, then the class name? So it means it is not necessary to give the Java source file name as same as the class name. It is not 100%. I'm saying you have to use the same. You can give any name, but what we will follow in such a way that the name of the class what we are given, the same name we will give it for the Java source. because it's very easy to while doing compilation as well as while doing interpreter execution. Okay. And what is path? Already I asked this question and you answered that. So it is an third option. It is an operating system variable to store directory path to look the commands. That means whatever you are given the commands like Java, then Java C, you are given this all commands, and all that command has to look it into specific directory, and the directory we should have to specify that. We are specifying it by using this path variable. So one example I mentioned with respect to KRC, you have a path inbuilt variable, we have environmental variable. So I can execute like this also, set path equal to C/program files like Java, JDK, something. So that is JDK, what type of version you have. So it is not like 1.6 only. Even if you have higher also, we can say JDK 1. That means all your Java command, whatever we are use the Java command, then Java C command. Okay. All these commands are available in this bin folder. And this bin is available in JDK 1.6.0_23. And this JDK is available in the one more path that is called as Java. And this Java is again available in the C program files. And this program file is again available in the drive called as C. So whether it is in C drive or D drive, where you are installed, that path you should have to specify. Okay, is it clear? Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Okay. So already I have discussed this point. Once again, I'm just saying. And this is with respect to Windows environment. Okay. So if it's a Unix environment, so we have a same path variable, but we can use here export statement. Instead of set, we can use export path equal to, instead of this C, we will start with a root. Okay, the root by like a slash, then followed by the path, again slash, followed by path. Like that, we can follow what is the path you have. Okay, so this method they are using in the Unix environment, slash root. Okay. Now, there's a reflection question I've added here. Can we have multiple class in a single Java source file? For this question. Answer this question using your chat box. You can say yes or no. Use your chat box and you can answer it. Can Java source file. That means I'm having a one file name .java. Within that file name, file content, can we write the two classes? So I can say it will be yes. So we can store multiple classes in that file. So it is not necessary that only one class has to be available in that file. But what we will follow some standards. Whichever the public functions, public classes are available, for all that public class, we'll create a one file. Instead of going with a multiple files, we'll go with a single file. Okay, that is the some standard we are following because of easy to process. Now see, if you have a multiple classes, like there's a one file and this file contains, there are three class. One is a class X, class Y and class Z. So all these three classes are available in single file. When I give for the compilation, so what it does, after the compilation, it will create the three separate class file names. It will create a three. One is the x.class file it creates, y.class file it creates, and z.class file it creates. Even though your source program is file is only one file, but inside the class, inside the file, we have a 3 class. After the compilation, it will create the multiple class files. So you will get output as the 3 files. Okay, so for that reason only, we are saying that while execution of the particular program, we should have to specify the class name. Now, in this 3 class X, class Y, class Z, if your main method is available in class Y, okay, so then you are using the class X and class Z maybe inside this class Y. Okay, you are using the object of this class X and object of this class Z inside this, and you are executing. So at that time, while execution, we should have to specify the class name Y for the execution, Java followed by Y. Okay, don't give Java followed by X, Java followed by Z. Because the main function is available inside Y class. If it is available in Z, you should have to specify Z. Is it clear? Do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. Now I'll move on to the Java variables. Shall I show for execution of this program, or shall I continue? Shall I show in the command line how we can compile, how we can
Yes,
do?
sir. So show in the command line.
Yes, sir. In command line, sir.
Okay, then I'll execute that in the command line and then I'll show it. Fine. So I'll take the same program. I will take the same file and do. See. No, I will share. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it that command line is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now see here, you can use any editor. It's not like a notepad only. You can use any node editor. I am using here is notepad followed by, we can give the file name. The file name I'm giving here is C welcome.java. Now it will open notepad. Yes, I can say. Now I'll just copy this program. So whatever the program I typed here, so I'm just giving that program, type program. So here indentation, I'm following just. Now I'll save this. Is it visible, this notepad?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Notepad is not visible.
Okay, wait. I will just change this sharing. So now is it visible?
Yes, sir. Now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm just see. I opened the notepad. So in the notepad, I just type this program. So whatever I given for you, okay, in the PPT, welcome so and so. So after the typing, I'm closing this. So once if I close, you can just go through this command line. So directory, so it will be available called as welcome.java. Okay. So welcome.java is available. Now I need to compile this. Before compilation, I need to check is Java compiler is already installed or not. So how I can check JDK is installed or not? Just you type the command called as JAVAC. Just you type the Java C. Type Java C and just enter. Now, if you get this screen, what I'm getting here, no? If you are getting that screen in the sense, it's already installed. It is already installed. If it is not installed, you should have to download it from the web page and then you can install it. And after the installation, we should have to set the path. Okay. Say we have a path variable, you can just set it. Okay. I'll show it later how to set that path. Okay. Then after this getting, now you have to go for JAVA Java C followed by a class, that means Java file name. So I'll give welcome.java. Fine. Now after that, I'll just press enter key. So what it is showing? What it is showing?
There is no error in the file.
It won't showing anything, just it has been, okay, they are showing the prompt, correct? So just you type the dir, you can see there are two files are available. The two files are available. One is welcome.class, another one is welcome.java. Now, once you get this class file name, means your source program is not having any errors. Syntactic error is not there. Maybe logical error is there, but that logical error only I can identify after the execution only. So the syntax error is not having, so it has been created a class. Okay. By mistake, say for example, I'll open this notepad and I will remove this semicolon. Okay, then I will save this. Fine. Okay, I'll close. Now when I come to here Java C, then Java C welcome.java. Now see, it is throwing an error. So your source program is having one error. What is that error? Is see error semicolon expected. So we need semicolon at the end. So this mark is showing semicolon is required at the end of this println method. So it means Java is ended with every statement by semicolon, like how you follow in the C++. The same thing here also. Every Java statement will be end up with a semicolon. So again, you can go with a notepad and just change this, put semicolon here, then save and exit. Fine. Now you can build again JVAC, Java C, followed by welcome.java. Fine. Now it won't give any error. It means it has been compiled. So once you compiled, now you can go with here. So I will type Java followed by file name. So the class name is, now I'll type see Java followed by welcome. Then if I enter, so are you getting the output? Are you getting the output?
No, sir.
No, you are getting an error. You are getting an error, and this error has encountered. Please check your installation or try again, or maybe some errors. So if you look at this error, what mistake I've done here is see the Java followed by given welcome, but the WC, because while writing in the class and look at the directory content here, see, the directory content is welcome.class, whereas W is in uppercase. But while execution, what I've done here is, see, I given here is the Java followed by welcome just with a small letter. So that's why it is identifying that that particular class is not available. So automatically it's throwing an error. So now I'll just use it Java followed by WELCOM, and then don't give this CLASS also. If you give this also, now you see it is also an error. Could not find that class. Okay, so for that reason, again you go with this. Try again. So encountered an error because of class file version is 58. Runtime, this version of Java runtime only recognize class file versions up to 52. So it means expected in thread main java.lang welcome has been compared by a more recent version of Java runtime. This version of Java runtime only recognize class file recognize up to 52. So it means I've just updated here. While updation, what I've done, it's updated. The recent version is 58. The recent version is 58, but I compared with lower version. So when I compared with the lower version, in the sense, there is a mistakes in the environment execution. So that's why it is saying runtime occurred. Please check your installation and try again. So what we can do is that I can check it like by using files, file explore. So I should have to go with the C drive, then in the program files. So where I've installed, now it's a JDK 14.0.1. It has been recently updated. Fine, within this we have a bin directory. See here we have all this. Now I'll go with this path. I'll copy this path. I'll go to properties, system, advanced system settings. Are you visible this? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir, you are.
Now what I am doing here, see, I'm just changing the environmental variable content. So that's what I'm saying path. So now I just went to the here, my computer or this PC, and within that properties, and we have a advanced system settings. Just you click this advanced system settings, it will open a system properties. So once it is open the system properties, we have see environmental variable. I mentioned no, it's an operating system variable. The operating system we call it as an environment. For that reason, environmental variables. And just you click this environmental variable, and you have see there's a path variable is there here, and one more here. So what is the difference between these two is, the one is it is user variable of admin. So it means I need a one path, that path is related to one user. And this is the system, entire system path. So in this path, what we can do, I'll just go through this edit. Okay. So check it, is your Java installation file is system is there. C program Java JDK 1.14. It's already available. I've done these changes. So maybe I'll check it my JVM. Now you see here, added this path. If you don't want this, you can say delete, then again go with new, then you can paste it. Okay, so this is a new version of that. Then click, I'll go to this admin. So here also I'll check it. Here also Java, C programs, fine. I'll go just delete, new, paste. Then click OK. Then click OK. Now I'll go to this version. I will exit. Again, I'll open a command prompt. Then cd Java program. Then JVA Java C. I will just check it the version. JVA Java C hyphen Java C 14.0, fine. This has been version with this. So it's an older version. That's why when I use JVA Java C followed by welcome.java, then Java followed by it's showing it a version because of we are running with a Java runtime with version 52. Okay, whereas we have having the higher version. So I'll update my system Java JVM, then I will execute this. Okay, so because older version and new version, I'm not modified this due to some requirement. I've done changes. Okay, I'll update this version, then I will execute this because already it's now time up. So you have next class, no? Hello?
Sir.
Okay, for that reason, I'll just take the attendance. Okay, then I will just you poll it, your attendance.